Hello everyone, so we have an update here on the status of the Samum. The Russian ship reported hit by a Ukrainian naval drone on the 14th of September. This photo here shows a Bora-class ship being towed into Sevastopol harbour, assisted by a pair of tugboats. So you can see this Bora is sagging a bit at the stern, so this is looking like it was a hit on the ship. How badly the damage is, we're going to have to wait and see. But given the sag at the rear, the ship was certainly hit by the drone and was certainly damaged. Now, we also have this image here. This is said to show the ship at Sevastopol. Here, it looks pretty fine, and there are no visible signs of damage at the rear of the ship. Remember, this was reportedly hit on the rear right-hand side, the side which is visible in this image. So, if this was hit hard, I think signs of damage would be visible. Now, it's hard to tell on this photo if the ship is still sagging in it. If not, then I think the damage caused would have been very light and easily repairable. This image is from the 25th, so it could be that the damage caused was a very quick fix, or this photo may actually not be from yesterday. I do think it is, but I will get more into that later once we talk about the satellite imagery. Also, I think there is a bit of a misidentification going on with the two Bora-class ships, but again, I will get to that later on too. Now, quickly, let's go back to the image of a ship being towed, as this will tie in with my next part. So this Bora-class ship is clearly into hip-hop because you can see it's sagging at the rear end. There's no sign of damage elsewhere, it isn't listing as such, it's just sagging a bit at the back. Now, it was tricky finding a good image from the rear of the ship, but I managed to get one from MT Anderson's website showing the rear of the Bora-class ships. But these are a type of hovercraft combined with a catamaran. So the hovercraft skirts rotate down and create an air cushion in the centre of the ship, with hard sides formed by the catamaran hull design. So I'm thinking this. The marine drone actually pierced the air cushion at the rear of the ship, which caused the sagging, which we saw in the photo we just looked at. But it didn't actually damage the hull or the surface structure of the ship itself. I think it just pierced the air cushion. I think that's what we're looking at here. Now, let's go through the satellite imagery which I have, which was shared by MT Anderson on Twitter, and see if we can piece together what exactly happened. Let's start from the beginning. So this satellite image from MT Anderson on Twitter shows the ship repair bay and the floating dry dock at Sevastopol harbour. This image you can see was taken at 7:46 UTC time. Now here, we can see an unidentified ship at the repair bay. This is not a Bora-class ship. Meanwhile, in one of the floating dry docks, we can see a Bora-class ship. Now, as a side note, this satellite image confirms the number of dry docks at Sevastopol. So we have the two where the Minsk and Rostov-on-Don were hit by a storm shadow. They are now inactive, they can't be used. And here we have two, a smaller one which currently contains a Bora-class ship, and a slightly larger one, which features a pair of unknown ships. So, 4 dry docks at Sevastopol, and importantly, all are either now occupied or disabled. Back to the Bora. So this was identified by MT Anderson as being ship number 615, the Bora. There are 2 ships in the Bora class, the Bora itself and the Samum being the one claimed hit yesterday. Now, at the same time, this satellite image was also taken, September 14, 7:46 am. In the bottom left-hand side, you can see a Bora-class ship on its way out of Sevastopol harbour. So at this time, both of the Boras are accounted for. The Bora in dry dock, the Samum leaving on patrol. Now, we don't know what time exactly the claimed attack on the Samum took place, but reports surfaced around 3:51 p.m. GMT time on the 24th. So the attack would have occurred between 7:46 a.m. and 3:51 p.m. Here is the important satellite image. Here we can see the Bora still in dry dock. Remember, this was seen here on the 14th. Notably, the dock isn't flooded, so whatever it is in here for, it's likely very minor repairs and routine maintenance. On this image though, we can see that the Samum has appeared. It's now docked at the ship repair bay, so that's pretty interesting. Indicates that maybe this ship does need some repairs. Now, let's go back to this image which was posted on the 15th of September. Check the white civilian passenger boat behind it. This boat is also visible on the satellite imagery we just looked at from the 15th of September. So this shows that the photo of the boat is from yesterday, it's not an old photo. And again, no visible signs of damage, which makes me think again that the damage caused by the marine drone boat was to the ship's hovercraft skirt, causing it to sag in the water. This image here could have either been taken either after the damage was repaired, or the ship was being supported in some way, or even because it isn't moving, it's able to float normally, even with a damaged or destroyed skirt underneath. But here is something quite interesting. I think both ships have been misidentified. Check the plaque or the badge on the side of the ship here, the blue circle with wings, that little emblem. Now here, a comparison of that ship docked at Sevastopol alongside both the Samum and the Bora. The insignia, which I assume is maybe a ship identification plate or something, doesn't match that on the Samum, but is a match for that on the Bora. This is a bit difficult to see well on this image, so let's zoom in just on the plates themselves. So at the top, the ship photographed at the repair bay. In the middle, we have the Bora's plate, and at the bottom, the Samum's plate. And as you can see, the Samum's plate is different than that of the ship photographed at Sevastopol. The Bora and the one on port, the image is reversed because each is taken from a different side of a ship, but it's the same design on both, whereas the Samum has a different design. So I think there's been a bit of a misidentification here. I think it's the Samum, currently at dry dock, and it's the Bora, which is on active duties and was the one claimed to have been attacked by drones. Now, while we're at Sevastopol, let's take a quick update on the Minsk and the Rostov-on-Don, the two ships hit by the Storm Shadow missile. First, the satellite image here shows the state of the ships. Definitely not looking in the best of health. The Kilo, hit at the front end, was showing pretty heavy damage. H.I. Sutton shared this image, showing the rough location where the Kilo was hit, so it got a pretty good thump on its beak. This cutaway also shows us the equipment located here, so we have numbers 1 until 6 at the top. These are the torpedo tube outer shutters, the torpedo loading platform, the intercept sonar, which sounds expensive, and the main sonar access, the forward bulkhead, and the anchor windlass. And numbers 60 to 63, the anechoic tiles inside the sonar dome, torpedo tubes, the MGK 400 Rubicon sonar, which also sounds expensive, and the sonar dome. So, basically, in technical terms, the sonar of this submarine is now knackered. Not to mention this hit would have caused fire and damage to other areas of the ship, especially those directly behind the impact point. So this Kilo is badly damaged. Let's take a quick closer look at the Bora-class ship, the Minsk. Now, even though this is a few days after the strike itself, you can see on this satellite image that water is still being poured onto the ship, so fires are still burning there, or at least a risk of the fires. So that's pretty interesting to see. The attempts are still being ongoing to try and extinguish the blazes here. So that's it for this video. Now, before we finish, I'm going to play a message from Yuri about the ongoing fundraiser with Sanef. So, Sanef emailed me yesterday to give an update on the fundraiser. So he says £1,715 British pounds have been raised on Just Giving and £379 British pounds on PayPal so far. So, a big thank you to everybody who has donated. I appreciate it a lot, and I'm sure Sanef and Yuri do too. The donation links, by the way, are in the description of the video and can be found there. Now, on to Yuri's message.
Hello again from Ukraine, and hello from the 44 Battalion. We have been watching the video on YouTube and reading your comments. Thank you for your support. I'm glad everyone is enjoying our work. We are the front line in Donbass now. The enemy are somewhere 100, 200 meters. But soon we will make them leave. That is why my friend Sanat is fundraising for them, even though it was hard. Sanat united people from the beginning of the war. Together they have done so much to help us to kick the Russian out. They became true friends of Ukraine. We are happy that you joined in.